Uncertainty. How do you approach uncertainty? Are you afraid of the unknown? I was interviewing someone recently who is in charge of the chaplaincy programs at a large hospital chain. In fact, he's in charge of training chaplains to minister to patients. And so he has had a lot to do with people who face uncertainty with regards to their health. And he has developed a very interesting way and philosophy behind ministering to people who are facing uncertainty. One of the things he said to me was that God never created humans with the knowledge of tomorrow. Only God knows tomorrow. In fact, this was one of the first deceptions, or part of the first deception. Remember when the serpent approached Eve, who was near the tree, and said to her eventually, "You won't certainly die." He contradicted God's warning. He said, "You will merely become wise like God, knowing both good and evil." Perhaps this is also part of knowing that only God has. He also said that in the light of our humanity and not being able to know the future, the level of our desire to know the future is equal to the level of our suffering. The more we want to know what's going to happen and what outcomes are going to be, the more our present suffering will be. That is really something we need to ponder, considering our present situation in this global crisis and being in lockdown and not knowing how long things are going to go on like this and what awaits us after lockdown. What is the economy going to be like? How are we all going to manage? Now, my husband loves uncertainty. He is somebody who loves extreme forms of adventure. Me, not so much. So over the last 26 years, I have suffered a lot in this respect. Because I am the kind of person, before one goes on a trip, I will read all the travel guides. I will look at the surrounding area of the place we're going to on a map. I will read all the warnings. I will establish whether I need to get my own SIM card when I get there, what kind of things I need to take with in my medical kit, outfits for all kinds of weather and any eventuality. And as a result, my suitcases are rather large compared to my husband's little carry-on size suitcases that he manages to survive with, apart from all the camera gear. Now, he travels quite a lot, so I've become quite good at making certain of things. But try as I might, there is always some or other uncertainty that we face. There's always something unexpected that happens. I try to analyze why I don't like surprises like that. Perhaps it had to do with events in my childhood that I felt I was unable to control. Perhaps it had to do with the serious car accident I had in my teens and not knowing whether I'd be able to walk again. These are scary feelings. We don't like to not be in control. And so over the years, I've learned to go into my cave. Now, my cave is a place in my mind where I allow my emotions to catch up, my mind to catch up with my emotions, shall I say. As I've grown older and hopefully matured, I find that it's a place I go to in my mind to meet with God and to ask Him to meet with me in my uncertainty and to help me understand that while I don't know what tomorrow holds, He does, and to ask Him to let me trust Him more. One of the places we went to on our travel adventures was Israel. And what a wonderful opportunity to walk literally where Jesus walked, to go on a boat on the Lake of Galilee and to walk around Jerusalem. You know, Jesus was in lockdown for 33 years with humanity, and He faced the ultimate lockdown in a tomb for us. We actually visited Golgotha. It's a little rocky outcrop, the place of the skull, where people say could be the place where Jesus was buried. The tombs are small little hollowed out caverns in the rocks, very small but complete with a gully in the front, in which one can roll a large stone to then cover the opening, just like the Bible tells us. As I stepped into one of those empty caverns, I thought how deep into solidarity with humanity Jesus has gone. He faced the loneliness, the isolation, even of death, so that we never have to. We might face all kinds of trouble in life. We might face all kinds of uncertainty. But because of what Jesus did, we don't have to experience that ultimate sense of abandonment, that sense of loneliness, the sense of not being in control, because we know Jesus is in control. He is risen. He is with us in every situation, and He is coming back to take us home to live a perfectly comfortable and glorious eternity with Him. Let us remember that as humans, we may not have been created to know tomorrow, but we do know the person who holds tomorrow. Let us choose not to suffer too much. Let us choose to leave things to Him and be certain in His love.